All right, welcome back to Wilder Woods. Gonna get straight to it. We have the frame pretty much done. There's a few little details I still want to pin down. Cripples, jacks for some of the windows and the door, but it's secure, it's strong, and I really want to start on sheathing just to lock it into place. If I can get at least a layer of sheathing around the outside, around the bottom of the outside, I think that'll lock it in and keep the square going forward. So that's the plan for today. Let's get to it. Hung these two up yesterday, and you can probably see a pretty obvious mistake. We should have started in the middle, basing it on the edge of two studs, and then worked out. Instead, we started from the edge. And since we have a joint, a wall meeting a wall, that threw our 16s off by 5.5 inches. So we have this kind of ugly edge that's not actually on a stud. Those two don't meet up perfectly, but it works. And I think once we have the tape, it'll really work. And we can even hit it with some caulk on the back to really secure it. If it was a bigger wall, I might think about tearing those down and starting over, but with this, I think it's gonna be okay. So now we just gotta get that edge piece up. Eventually I'm going to come through, cut out the windows and doors, and clean up these edges with the router. Fortunately, I don't have my router with me today, so it's going to be ugly for the time being, but hopefully I can reuse the second half of that sheet elsewhere. Just up here for a quick couple hours today. Main thing I want to do today is get the windows cut out that we already have sheathed up using a flush trim bit on a router. And the hope is I can just go around the edges with this bit and get a nice perfect, falling into the snow, and get a nice perfect cutout. One last thing before I go with the router. These are kind of a sneaky dangerous tool. PPE is always necessary with any of these tools, but gloves are a must. Eye protection is a must because this thing spits wood chips. But I think the sneaky one is the gloves. These spinning bits, they're spinning so fast that they'll catch the wood and they'll jump and it'll rip your tool out if you're not careful, or if you're going the wrong way especially. It's happened to me once or twice before. Thankfully I've never gotten myself. I've always been wearing gloves if I did, but it'd be a real nasty way to take a chunk of skin out. So wear your gloves, be careful with the router, and have fun. That's nice. Nice to have windows again. Okay, I'm going to start on the second step of sheathing with the zip system. Really all we have to do to seal it up is put the tape along the edges. We don't have to worry about putting on house wrap. That's what this green coating is. It's a built-in house wrap. So we got our moisture and vapor barrier right there. So we've got a couple creases here and the window. You can't see in the shot right now, but we do still need to sheathe above this spot. I think in a perfect world, I would rather have the whole thing sheathed up before I started this, but we got two things going on. One is this tape is temperature sensitive. It needs to be above 20 degrees, I think is what Uber says. And today's the first day we've had above 20 degrees in a couple weeks. It's like right around 30 degrees, quite pleasant. So we're gonna roll that on and get it to adhere. And then secondly, we're coming up on the holiday season. I'm gonna be out of town for a couple weeks for Christmas and New Year's and a wedding. So I'm really just trying to get this thing as tight as possible to minimize the cleanup when I get back. Putting this roof on was great. It snowed a couple inches overnight and I didn't have to shovel inside. Roofs are awesome. So every one of these cracks I can get sealed up is gonna be good. I'm also gonna put the window in today. That's just one less hole that snow can get through. That's the first full roll of tape on the cabin, seaming up all the zip. And with that, I think it's a good time to talk about zip system, costs, pros, cons, because it's something I went back and forth a lot on. It was one of the decisions that wasn't obvious to me, whether I should use zip or regular OSB house wrap system. Ultimately, I went with zip after pricing it all out. I've been trying to be as cost conscious as I can throughout this process, mainly because I have to be. The there's certain things that I figure are worth doing right to the highest degree possible. First time around. A great example would be this stuff. You know, I'm not going to re-sheath this cabin anytime in my lifetime, hopefully, unless I do something really wrong. But windows are replaceable. So all the windows that are in this cabin I bought secondhand, bought used. When I priced it all out, these standard 4x8 sheets of zip sheathing, my local hardware store, the only place that actually sells them in town is Lowe's. And at Lowe's they were, I think they were 36 or 37 a sheet. And the standard OSB that you would use would be about 20, maybe 22 a sheet. So it's significantly more expensive. Those two numbers don't sound very different, but when you multiply them by 30 something sheets that you need for your entire project, it's a lot of money. The one caveat that goes the other way is that you don't need any house wrap for this. So if I would have done the typical OSB, I would need to buy house wrap as well. And that house wrap, I think, would have been a couple $100. The other kind of house wrap equivalent is the tape. Tape didn't go as far as I was hoping it would. I brought one roll up today to test it out. And I got, as you can see, this half, the long half, and the short half pretty much completely done, with still some room to go on the top. So I think 3 rolls, maybe 4, if I'm really wrong, 5. And the tape's not cheap either. These are $35 a roll. So it adds up. All in all, sort of roughly thinking about it here, seeing what I remember from all my spreadsheets, I think it ended up being about $1,300 or $1,400 to use zip system to sheathe this entire thing versus $800 or $900 using standard OSB house wrap. So it's more expensive, significantly more expensive. On a small project like this, that percentage difference is, you know, less than, say, if we're doing a 2,000 square foot house, then if it's 30% more expensive, that might be the difference of thousands of dollars instead of hundreds of dollars. Oh, and I should say, that includes the roof, that number. So that's all the OSB or zip system, including the roof. That's a big caveat, because that roof is a much larger footprint than any of these individual walls. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if we're square and if we left enough room for a window. Oh yeah. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, hammer that like button, and please don't forget to subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me.